Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be converting my tractor's manual skid steer quick attach to hydraulic. I've gathered a few parts, the mainly being the hydraulic cylinder we're going to use. This is just a cheap cylinder. You can get it on Amazon or Walmart, wherever. 1.5 bore, 1-inch rod, 10-inch stroke. This cylinder is going to require a little bit of modification, but nothing too major, and some brackets. So follow along and we'll get this thing going. The tractor we're doing this on is a Rural King RK37, the equivalent of the TYM 394, just your basic compact tractor. The hitch is just your very simple, basic skid steer quick attach. Nothing fancy, so it's going to be a pretty simple project. The cylinder, we're going to have to extend it 5 inches. The easiest being extending the rod. I have a piece of 1-inch rod here. We're just going to be cutting that to length, cutting the end off, welding it back on. Doesn't have to be super precise or anything for this application, so we're not going to go through great pains, but we'll get it done. All right. One note, if you choose to go this route, be sure if you clamp your cylinder in a vise, don't clamp it too tight. These walls are actually very thin on these cylinders, so give it a little bit of padding. Don't tighten it any more than you have to. And if you notice, I cut with a force going this direction, so I didn't have to clamp it as tight to keep it from rotating. So I have my two pieces prepped for welding. I'm not worried about heat on this part, so we're going to go ahead and weld it first, and that way it can cool down before we do the rest. But here's my method for getting them relatively square. There again, we're not building an airplane here. So what I did is this piece is 1.25 OD. This piece is 1 inch. So this is a piece of 1/8 inch. Very simple. Just put that like that. Get it in the center and start welding it. Very simple, quick way to get those two pieces squared up. I'm going to get it set up and start getting that welded together. All right, guys, first pass is done. I'm gonna let that cool off before I do the second pass, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do the cylinder itself without putting too much heat into that rod. And I left the paint on. That rod is actually fully extended, so we're pretty far away from the seals already, but we're still gonna take precautions not to overheat that. Okay, here's the next step, the setup for welding. I extended the rod out and just bolted this through the table to keep that square. Got the shaft lined up. So this will get me to the point where I can tack this together. So let me tack this and then I'll show you how we're going to mitigate the heat. Alrighty, I got the piece tacked up, and after looking at it, we probably would be safe to weld this. That's a pretty long distance with that cylinder extended out, but we're still going to take precautions. And what I've used is this product here called Thermo Trap. I've had it in shop for quite a while. We're going to give it a try. So just put the little thermal dam here. So we'll keep welding this joint up and see how it does. So the Thermo Trap seems to be working really well. Place my hand there, it's just barely warm. That side is scalding hot. I can't even keep my hand on it for any time at all. So big win for Thermo Trap. I'm gonna go ahead and finish out this weld and the cylinder will be done. We're letting the cylinder cool off. Then we're gonna start modifying the hitch itself. If you'll look down here, the levers need a slight modification. So right here, this lever is bent at roughly 245s. So I need this to be bent 90, and we'll go ahead and bend this back 90 so the cylinder can rest right in this area. On both sides, same bend. I'm going to do this on the tractor. It's got the spring down there. I don't know. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze to remove this whole assembly and do it on the table. I'll just bring the torch over here and we'll heat it and get those bent. All right, see, I got those bent. I think I'm gonna wait on these before I bend those back till I get the cylinder in, just to see if there's any interference issues. And I'll either bend those back or cut them off. But we'll see once I start to get the brackets made. Alrighty, so now we're ready to make the brackets to attach the hydraulic cylinder to the quick attach. So I wanted to show you in real time. This is actually pretty easy to do. This program is Draft Site. I really like it. I've used it for many years. It is a paid program, but I find that it's very valuable for what I do. I use it nearly on a daily basis. So that fast. There's our basic bracket. I want to radius these corners real quick. So that's simple. I'm going to take a second and confirm my measurements. And I will see you at the plasma table and we'll get 4 of these brackets cut. All right, so here at the plasma table. This system is the Optimum system through STV. This table it's nearly a year old, so I'll be giving you more information on the table later. We'll do a review on it after I had it for a full year, but for right now, we're going to go ahead and get these parts cut. So I'll throw it over here, make sure everything looks good. So this lead out here, we're going to move it to save some material. So we're going to move this lead in, lead out over here. So that'll waste the least amount of material. You don't want to get on these edges with that. So that's ready to go. So I could either add my other 3 pieces here, or I can go to array and just tell it that I want 4 pieces. Oops. So that does everything for me. So we're going to load that. We better put some distance. There we go. Okay. So we'll load that. It should be ready to cut. So this is the remote that you can get now for your table. Super handy. Definitely highly recommend it. A nice little remote. Okay, so everything, even the work offset, can be controlled from here. Oops. And I almost forgot over here, we need to set our material thickness, just 1/4. Okay. Now we're ready to go. Alrighty, so we got the cylinder in, the brackets tacked in. I did have to trim just a little bit off the brackets, but you can see what it's looking like. I did try to operate it with air pressure, but it just wasn't enough pressure, but everything is moving. So we'll get this all finished welded. Then I will get measurements for my hydraulic hoses and this thing will be complete. So I am operating this off my third function here on the loader. May not be ideal for all situations, but it's actually going to work pretty good for me. I don't use the grapple that often, so I'm not going to be swapping hoses enough that it's really going to make a big difference. The other option would be to do diverter valves here or run hoses to the rear of the tractor for the remotes back there, which I don't want to do either. So this is going to work for me. So as soon as I get the hoses, I'll bring you back and we'll wrap this up. Alrighty guys, so the quick hitch is complete and tested. Everything is functioning very well. Very pleased with the outcome. I'm going to bring you in here a little bit closer and cheers. I did end up cutting off the handles. They were just getting in the way. Shouldn't be needing those anyway. So got the hydraulic hoses on. Was able to find the right adapter here locally to go from a SAE 4 to a 3/8 NPT. Same thing here. So I had to make me a little hose guide. As I rolled the bucket, the hoses were getting in a bad position. And as you can see, ended up connecting to the third function on the loader. So very pleased with this project. Total cost, the cylinder was $65, the hoses were $40, and the fittings, my adapter fittings, were probably around $20. And then I did get the flat face connectors on Amazon, and they were, I believe they were about $25. So you can tally that up if you're interested in the total cost. Guys, I appreciate you watching this video. If you like and subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.